This is another in a series of videos on properties of function, and this one we're going to look at y equals x. Now, y equals x is a function you've been working with for as long as you've been doing algebra. And the way to think about y equals x is really just a special case of y equals mx plus b. That is the slope-intercept form of a linear equation. And the special case is that m is equal to 1 and b is equal to 0. In other words, it has a slope of 1 and it has a y-intercept of 0, 1, 0, 0. And what does that look like graphically? The y-intercept is at 0, 0, and then it has a slope of, so it's just a 45-degree line, and it goes through the origin, or through the point 0, 0. And the slope is always 1. And that's what that graph looks like. So if you're thinking about the properties of functions of y equals x, then all you're thinking about is what's the properties of a line. So let's go through one by one the 8 properties. Here are the 8 properties. And let's go through the first 4. Your y equals x, and it looks like that. So domain and range are easy. Domain is all real numbers, and range is all real numbers. You put it in interval notation, it's minus infinity to infinity, minus infinity to infinity. Continuity, it is continuous at all points. Or again, if you want that in interval notation, you say it's continuous from minus infinity to infinity. Increasing and decreasing, it's increasing at all points. And it's unbounded, right? Boundedness has to do with whether or not there ever reaches some max or min, and it never does, so it's unbounded. So those are your first 4 properties. Let's look at the rest of our properties. Again, y equals x looks like this, 45-degree line. Extrema, there's no extrema. In other words, there's no min and there's no max. Symmetry, it is an odd function. Another way to say that is it's symmetric across the origin, or across the point 0, 0. It's very much like x cubed in that sense, and there's no asymptotes. So now we've cleared out 7 of our properties, and let's look at the 8th. The 8th has to do with in behavior. And in behavior, we're always going to write the same way. We go limit as x goes to minus infinity of x, and limit as x goes to positive infinity of x. And here's your graph. You notice as x goes to minus infinity, y also goes to minus infinity. And as x goes to positive infinity, y goes to positive infinity. And that's your in behavior of y equals x, which is really just a line centered at the origin with slope 1.